So, welcome to part two of the anxiety series. Now, we've discovered last week the difference between fear and anxiety. So, fear, we respond to an event, and anxiety, there is no event happening, but we are afraid in advance of what if it happens, and we are causing it. Especially with the anterior cingulate cortex and the amygdala. Okay. So the very first thing that we do to control and try to deal with this anxiety, the very first step is to stop yourself, because anxiety is caused by the emotional part of your brain, deeper into your brain, while the cognitive area of your brain is more a thinking part, a thinking process. So the first piece is to stop yourself and recognize, oh my gosh, I am anxious right now. And to recognize it and take a deep breath. We must take the first step of taking a deep breath and say, whew, I'm feeling my heart beating, my palms are sweating, what's going on? I'm getting anxious. And there is no snake right now. If you've seen last week, we are pretending that there could be a physical threat somewhere or an emotional threat, and we're responding to it even though it is not happening. We're anxious. Okay, so stop yourself and say, I'm having this little anxiety growing up. So now I'm just going to stop myself and say, wait, I need to breathe and calm down. The first thing you do is you stop yourself, you breathe, and you calm down. Second step is to get into cognitive mode. So put your nerd hat on and get into cognitive mode, which means you want to work with your prefrontal cortex, which is more in the cognitive side of your brain, so that the back side of the brain, the emotional side, is not going to be able to empower your cognitive side. So get into cognitive side, meaning ask yourself, wait a minute, am I making this up? Okay, so look at the signs, look at everything that's happening, and then you're at work, and then you're about to do a presentation, or you're about to talk to a client, or you're about to do a sale, or you're about to contact a new client, or to talk to your boss, or you're doing a task that you're not used to, that you've been procrastinating for. You don't like this, so you are feeling the anxiety. So get into cognitive mode and say, wait a minute, what am I afraid of? I'm afraid that they would say no. Have they said no already? No, I haven't even called them yet. What am I really afraid of? So start observing the fact and get into cognitive mode and just say, okay, wait a minute, what are the facts? What is the worst thing that can happen? Is that they would say no if I try and it doesn't work. What if I do my presentation and it doesn't go as well? What am I really afraid of? Is it going bad right now? No, it's not. I'm afraid that it may be going not the way that I want, but it's not happening right now. So ask yourself, what are you making up right now? And then the third step is, what story do you have to tell yourself in your prefrontal cortex? Create a different scenario. How could that go well? What is the best possible outcome for that? And get into that mode, because times are uncertain. We go through changes all the time. And then we are afraid for our job. We're afraid for our safety, for our security. We're afraid that people might not like us. We're afraid that we're not good enough. So start to reverse the story in your head and respond to a different story. So stop, take a deep breath, get into cognitive mode, look at the facts and say, wait, am I making this up? And what story can I tell myself? And where, because you don't have a choice. You're making things up anyway. It's not happening. When you're in anxiety mode, anxiety is not fear. It's not a response to something that is happening. It's a premonition. It's pretending in your mind, making up the fact that this may potentially be happening, but you're making it up. So if you're going to make up something that serves you, and make up a good story. What would be the best potential outcome for this? So feel free to use the technique. Stop cognitive mode, look at the facts, and what story do you need to tell yourself in order for this to work? Have a great rest of your week, everyone.